All right, what's up everyone? Today we are going to do a little fly tying instructional video for you, and it's going to be just a little cool variation on the ever famous Jeff Blood White Death. And it's just diamond braid, zonker, two different threads, and then a sneaky little additive here to help entice the fish to bite it a little bit more. And there's quite a few different ways and color patterns that you can tie it up in. Patterns that I really like is going to be white, black, and purple. So today we're going to tie up a white one, and I think we might even do a black one for you to show you like a cool little contrast way that you can get a few extra fish when everyone else, if your buddies are running white or you're seeing guys run a lot of egg patterns, this is a great way underneath an indicator to catch a few more steelhead or even like inland trout. So let's get to it. First, let's talk about the hooks that we're going to use. These are Mustad Alpha Point streamer hooks. I believe these are size 6. Yep, size 6 hook. I like a little bit bigger. Usually it's like size 8s to 12s. I like a little bit bigger flies, especially with the White Death. I tend to fish them in more off-colored water, and it just seems like they still get bit just going up that slightly bigger hook. You have a little bit more bite gap there. Just land a few more fish, and you can handle some bigger fish too with that 2X hook. It doesn't bend nearly as much. You're gonna grab your white zonker strip, just your standard white zonker, black, purple, whatever colors you want to tie it in. You can even go funky and tie it in some of these crazy groovy bunny strips. Diamond braids, you got greens, I got silvers and oranges. These are all what I like to put on the body. So I think in this one we're gonna do the silver braid with the white zonker, and then show you a little trick. And you can use ripple ice hair in 4-inch or like a UV pearl crystal flash or whatever your favorite crystal flash is. So let's tie it up here with some green pearl ripple ice hair and see how it turns out. The first thing you want to do, get your streamer hook out here and get her in the vise. Now I'm using Vivus 140 thread. I just like it. It ties really well and you're never going to break it. It's super strong thread unless you get like a little nick in it, which does happen. So what I'll do is I start about the midsection of the body and work my way all the way back to just above the hook point. I'm going to cut off our tag end. Next, we're just going to grab a little tiny pinch of this ripple ice hair. You're going to pinch it down and just lay it right on top to about your desired length. And I like to wrap that all the way forward because you're going to hide it underneath the diamond braid anyways. And instead of having a little bit of a bump where you're going to tie the diamond braid on, now you have a nice flat tying surface. Next, we need our black. And this part's cool. We're going to move our orange out of the way. Black, you're going to do about the midsection of the fly right to the eye. So midsection of the hook to about the eye. And cut that tag off here. And that's so you can set your diamond braid. Now you probably only need like 4-inch section of diamond braid. I tend to always cut it a little bit long just to play it safe. You're gonna bring back your orange thread. Now we're gonna tie our diamond braid on, and same thing, I like to wrap it all the way forward. Just so it's nice and secure. And this is a rotational vise. I probably could have just rotated it, but I didn't want to make a mess of things, so I'm just leaving it as simple as can be. And this is so you know that you can do it without a rotational vise. So next step is you're going to rotate your diamond braid all the way forward about 7/8 of the way at the shank. Now you can use super glue here too, put it on top of the hook shaft just to kind of help lay that diamond braid down nice and flat. Try not to get the hook stuck in your finger like I almost just did there. You're gonna wrap your diamond braid down. Snip out that little bit extra tag end. Make sure you get it nice and secure. Bring that slightly more forward here. So now you're gonna tie in your rabbit. You always want your hair going back, so measure out your length. I like it to go just past that ripple ice stub that I threw on there. And what I'll do is check it with my fingers, pull all that hair back, and you can take your boykin or bobbin, whatever you want to call it, so you make your mark. You just want to cut that, and I like to cut it at an angle just to give it a little bit more flow. Nothing in nature is symmetrical, so I always like to make my flies just a little bit unsymmetrical, right? So measure that out, and on the next step I like to do is cut down the front here, and I like to make it just into a triangle. And what that little triangle does right there is it helps you tie it into the eye here. So it's got just a little bit more meat to grab, and it also will help thin it down just slightly, because you don't want a massive head on your zonker or your white death. And sometimes I see guys that'll build up a huge cone here in the front, and they're just gonna whip finish it. And we're gonna put some UV resin on here in a second to harden it down. Give it 2-3 good turns. Do it one more time here. So that is done. So let's UV finish it. This is Loon Outdoors fluorescing UV finish. I just love fluorescent colors. I like bright, and I just think in dark, cloudy conditions, you can never have enough extra help to allow those fish see that fly. So we're gonna gob it up here so you get a nice bead on that head. UV finish it. And now the last part of our tie here is securing this rabbit strip down to the body with your back thread. So you have to figure out roughly where that spot is, because you don't want to capture any of the hair. Get your fingers wet and pull that hair forward in the front so you don't capture any of it as you're securing it to the back half of the body. And just like 5 or 6, do even 8 or 9, whatever your comfort level is, to secure it there in the back. You just extra large whip finish. As I move my vise here. And there is your finished product with an extra flare on the back. So, size 6, white death. A little extra flare for a little bit of bite enhancement, so you can catch a few more steelhead and outfish the competition on the streams. This is a must-have in any steelheaders fly box. I like silver bellies and chartreuse bellies. You basically can't go wrong there on a white one. And if I'm gonna tie up black, let's tie up a black one real fast. And what we're gonna do for the black one is we're gonna do purple crystal flash, black rabbit strip. I think we're gonna do an orange belly on it. So same thing. I'm actually going to start this time with my thread a little bit more forward to get that body wrap just a little bit more secured. And the main focus point on these flies is going to be the zonker strip. So I don't think having it slightly off a little bit matters all too much. Grab a couple strands of purple crystal flash here. Orange, about a 4 to 6 inch length, like I stated in the white video. Where's my black thread? You know, we have a saying, when in doubt, white death it out, but there's something about black actually in really, really clear water that sometimes will outfish white. So don't be afraid to run a black fly if everyone else is running white. Especially with like a nice contrast to it, like this orange, black, and purple. This color pattern is stunning, and it looks even better underneath the water, in my opinion. And steelhead absolutely love contrast. If you're chasing after brown trout, be a great brown trout pattern too in the Great Lakes. Get that diamond braid tied down real nice and tight. So then we got the head ready to go here. Tied it into the triangle. Build up the head just slightly. Whip finish. And I don't do too many whip finishes on the head just because we are hardening it down with that UV. UV will crack over time, but it's pretty much foolproof with securing the head of your fly. And when I'm tying these, I know I'm going to go through a bunch of them, especially with clients. So I don't mind just securing them with a little UV on the head there to speed up the fly tying process just a little bit. Got some fibers with some UV on it. There we go. And we'll bring back our rear thread here. Remember, like I said in the first one, measure out the distance. You don't want to trap any fur, so get your fingers wet with a little bit of water. Bring that forward so you know right where you're tying down. Loose loop first, then get it just a little bit tighter. Then big whip finish 2 or 3 times. There you go. I got a little Halloween themed Black Death, we'll call that one, with the little purple crystal flash on the tail, orange diamond braid body, and yeah, you got 2 killers there for fishing your steelhead. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this fly tying demonstration here for a quick little quirk on Jeff Blood's White Death pattern, something that's super fishy. It's going to catch a ton of steelhead. If you haven't tied it up, I hope you do so. And if you just tie in a natural pattern, try this one. I'm sure it's going to get you more bites. If you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more fly tying videos and fishing videos coming here in the near future.